Where are we finding men?
Men are nowhere to be found and are never approaching women again.
And we were just talking about how men never approach women. And I get it, it's nerve-wracking, it's uncomfortable, it could be like severe rejection, all these things. It's frustrating when it feels like women have to do all of the work.
Ever since the beginning of time, men have been doing the work, and now they're tired.
Like, what do women need to do to be approachable?
It's too late, unfortunately.
Why do pretty girls sometimes never get approached by guys?
I actually completely agree with this person that this happens sometimes.
Okay.
I feel like I mean, I haven't been in the game in a while, but I feel like I look like a lot of work. Come chat.
So I was going to say the exact same thing.
Men see the risks of being accused as creeps.
I think it has less to do with her appearance and has everything to do with the energy.
Modern women wanted men to leave them alone and say, they don't need no man. Now they are complaining that men don't approach them. They can't have their cake and eat it too.
Being unapproachable is actually the worst thing ever. My roommate and I have been single all of college, and I'd like to think that we are normal enough for there to be someone out there who would have some kind of interest in us, okay? Like, we're not animals. We have to be pretty in someone's eyes. We have good personalities, I'd like to think.
It's not about what the woman looks like. Sigma men's minds are already made up.
And we radiate a pretty decent energy. Like, we've got good friends, we talk when we're out, we dance. We may have RBFs, but that's debatable. Yet no one comes up to us. We can be at a house party, we can be at the bar, no one comes up to us. And we can feel people kind of making eye contact and kind of looking, and they just won't approach us.
It's like men made a silent commitment to not approach women at the same time.
We can see people come closer to us, but no one will actually come say hi to us. Any guy that we've talked to, we've been put in some crazy specific scenario that gave them the ability to talk to us. And all our friends tell us that we just give off unapproachable.
Nowadays, it's pretty hard to find a woman who's not materialistic.
A lot of girls asking, oh, why don't men approach anymore? Or, oh, why don't men make the first move anymore and all that stuff? Well, first of all, I'll say I have restored the idea of making the first move myself. So there are some guys that technically still make the first move.
That's a rare percentage because most guys aren't approaching anymore.
But second of all, there's absolutely nothing wrong with a woman making the first move herself if she wants a guy so badly.
Exactly. Women should put in as much effort as men.
I mean, it's not the most masculine thing in the world, and I get it. Some people are shy or may not have the most confidence in the world, but still, there's no reason why a woman shouldn't make the first move herself if she really wants a guy to notice her so badly. From my experience from the past few years to even as far back as high school, I've seen plenty of girls that have made the first move and never had an issue. So given my examples I mentioned, unless there's really shyness or insecurities or anything like that, there should be no reason why a woman can't make the first move herself if she wants a guy's attention so badly.
She can't expect men to come to her doorstep.
Serious question for the guys. I have this conversation with my female friends, I think, like, I'm not even kidding, once a week. So I'm just curious what the real reasoning is behind it. But most of my girlfriends say that whenever they're out, they never get approached by guys, ever.
Many guys get accused of bad stuff when they approach women, so they don't dare to approach anymore.
It has come to my attention that men do not want to approach women anymore. I don't know when this happened.
One day, men wake up and think, why are we doing this? Why are we approaching women, risking our careers and free time?
But this is the reality of the situation, and I also realize that nobody wants to be on dating apps anymore. I think this summer is about to be feral girl summer. Like, I feel like we are finally gonna connect with one another, and we are finally gonna get off the apps, and we are finally gonna flirt with one another. However, we have an issue at hand. Men don't want to approach women at bars.
I just saw a video of this man saying, he's like, am I the only guy that will never approach a woman, like, no matter how beautifully she is, no matter, and whatever, I'll never approach a woman. And he's saying that if a woman really wants you, she'll come up to you.
She looks disappointed, but it's true. A woman should put in as much effort as men.
This is not a bad thing. This is not a bad thing, and I'm going to tell you why. A man being concerned about being viewed as creepy while approaching a woman shows an awareness of the reality of violence that women face when they're approached by men, when they deal with men, when they're talked to by men, when they're harassed by men, cackled by men, etc. And he does not want to be a part of said reality. There is literally nothing negative about men starting to be hyper aware of how they're interacting with women. There's no negative to that.
Men are being extremely cautious, even if it costs them being single.
I need to know from a men's perspective, are you all waiting on girls to talk to you first? Like, are you waiting on a girl?
If you tally up the amount of men that don't pay you any mind at all to the guys that actually approach you, the guys that approach you will always be the minority. So the majority of men weren't approaching, haven't been approaching anyway, right?
He's right. Only simps approach at this point.
Why does a man stare at you but never approach you? I made a video talking about this before, but some of you are new here, so I thought I'd spin the block. So the first thing to understand is that if men are going to do anything, men are going to stare.
It's called observing whether to approach or not.
Last night we were out and these people all night were just kind of coming near us and approaching us, but they wouldn't actually talk to us, but we can feel that they were biased the whole time. We went upstairs, they went upstairs. We were recording a video, they got in the back of our video and we saw it after. Finally, before we were leaving, we called our Uber and they were just standing by us. If you're not gonna talk to me, like, I'm so sick of this. So I literally looked at him and I was like, you know we don't bite.
Men aren't taking too many chances. All of these women are asking a lot of different questions with one single answer. The good men you want are in the early 20s friend zone, where you left them. These are the things that make men avoid women.
Ladies, if you want to know why you're not getting approached by men when you out in public, and you know when you step out your 10, it can only be a couple of things. Number one, he could have seen what you was driving, or the way you was dressed, and the way you was carrying yourself, and that could have intimidated him.
In other words, modern women's clothing style doesn't always attract men.
Number two, he probably thinks that you are so bad that you wouldn't even talk to a guy of his caliber. So basically, he probably think you way out of his league as far as looks.
Most of the time, it turns men away. In men's world, if a man thinks a woman is out of his league, he'll retreat without drama, unlike how modern women complain.
Right, if you're a single woman these days, you're probably not getting approached by men that often in the wild. Ladies, I'm going to tell you why. And this can apply to men too, but typically it's the ladies who want the men to come up and approach them. So let's break it down. So ladies, you want the men to come up and approach you, correct? But have you made yourself approachable? Like, let's be real. We are now in an era where as a man, there's a lot of risk in going and walking up and talking to a woman. You can get shunned, she can make fun of you, she can put you down. It's a little bit of a nerve-wracking experience for men.
Indeed, most women also don't recognize their facial expressions. And Sigma men are masters of reading body language.
What happened to men pursuing girls? When was the pivotal moment that a man chose to not go after a girl anymore and put in any effort? It seems like guys can just put the bare minimum and not even really put in effort anymore. They don't really care to.
There are many other things to care about, to be honest.
Or they're like, why don't girls just go and make the first move and make the effort? When did it become a thing? Now it's like role reversal where they expect girls to be making the first moves, yearning for a guy and chasing him. That is, I feel like, the downfall of why it's so hard to meet someone, because men don't put in effort anymore, don't care to put in effort. And a relationship won't work unless the guy likes the girl just a tiny little bit more. He has to like her just the tiniest bit more.
That's not always true. They can like each other about the same
for it to work in the long haul. So it would make sense if a guy really wanted to get to know you, that he would go leaps and bounds to get to know you. And when did that shift?
Sigma men shifted when no one was looking.
Because back in my mom's era, if a guy wanted to take you out on a date, he had to go up to you, he had to get your number, he had to go through lengths to try to talk to you, even if you weren't interested at first.
You can blame social media for that one.
So am I like the only woman that no longer gets approached by men?
It's not you. Most women suffer from this.
No, because I had to actually sit and think about this, and I had to ask myself, when is the last time a man came up to me and wanted to get to know me or exchange numbers? And it's been a long time. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it definitely has me questioning myself.
We got the message loud and clear. Women don't want to be approached. There is also the risk of getting accusations that can ruin your life for a long time, if not permanently.
Like, am I not as attractive as I thought I am? Am I looking old? Am I intimidating? Like, what is it? So now I'm starting to realize that since men don't come up to me, I have to be the one to go up to them. And that makes me super nervous because it's like, how do I know I'm not going to get rejected if you didn't come up to me in the first place?
Men have always dealt with this feeling.
And then I make the decision to go up to you. How do I know I won't face rejection?
The reason men are not coming up to you is because you're not approachable. But you're on your phones the entire time. You got sunglasses on, standing in the corner with your face like this. Baby, why would anyone want to approach you?
She's correct. Their body language is unreadable.
I, as a woman, am intimidated to even say anything to you. Instead, put your phone down or go home.
Actually never had a girlfriend.
Yeah, he's never had a girlfriend. I think it's so hard to find someone you're like, I want to take you seriously, and there's always some disconnect on both sides. Like someone can't trust the other person, or they see them doing this. You can't really win out here.
Why do you think that is?
Timing's everything. Timing.
They are too distracted, and men just don't see any opening, so they don't approach.
Unfortunately, they are working overtime instead of going out and dating because they feel they will never be attractive enough or wealthy enough for a girl ever.
Men feel that modern women aren't taking anything seriously anymore.
They would rather check their weather app than chat with another person on Hinge. If they're not at work, they're usually at home, the gym, playing video games with friends, or fighting for democracy.
Social media has made women expect more out of men, and that put men in a tough situation.
I was today years old when I found out that men are not supposed to chase after women. Don't chase after women and lose your strength. Women like that have destroyed kings. When a man hunts, you don't ever see a man chasing after a deer.
But I think that if we understand each other, then we can come to more of a unity.
Ladies, 95% of men do not approach women like they used to. So if you've been going out looking amazing and you see guys walk by, they look at you, they smile, you smile back. You're giving them that body language communication that it's okay for them to say hello to you. They still don't do it. The men in dating, they've changed their behavior.
They quit that game for good. Well, guys, that was all for today. We'll be back soon.